Shalom, shalom, shalom. I like to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, taught me this truth. Peace and salutations to the Akim preaching this word of truth and sincerity around the four corners. Like Elder Malcolm will be saying, risking their lives and freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners, the Israelites that live amongst the heathen, that look like the heathen. Like Elder Malcolm would be saying, this is not a black thing, this is an Israelite thing. And shalom to the Akim and the few Aqua, the true believers of the hopeful elect. Just coming back in the spirit and theme of prophecy, and just wanted to speak on, Trump passing that big beautiful bill, and how it's going to affect everybody, but mainly you tribes, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. I got like a news article. I've been watching brothers' videos all day, apostles' videos all day, and one brother in particular, brother Yashalam from the New York camp, from the main camp, he had what's that called? In his video, he had a term to look up. Damnatia and Bestias, but and I looked it up. I'm gonna include that in the lesson, Lord's will. And I don't know if you can hear it, but the 2/3 is popping off fireworks. They waited until the nighttime. They started yesterday. And you got the 2/3, doing their thing. They don't know no better. While they popping fireworks, Trump is making their lives, their daily lives a little bit harder as the days go by. So I'm gonna get the article, hit a couple of precepts, and Lord's willing this to be edifying. Salakia. Bear with me. His phone acting stupid. Well, as you can see in the heading, it says, this is from the BBC, it says, Trump signs sweeping tax and spending bill into law. Matter of fact, this is fair use. Let me see if this video will play. I don't want the screen recorder to cut off, but let's give it a shot. Alright, so I guess it's not playing. That's all good. I'll just read it. It played. I played it before I started recording, but you know how Satan does. Tries to hinder the lesson, stop you from continuing. But we're gonna keep it moving. If anything, just look it up on your own time. I got this from BBC. They said that Trump was supposed to be Trump already got the Senate to sign to okay the bill, and he's today, the 4th of July, he's supposed to be getting the what's that called? He's supposed to be getting the damn. Like why be saying these brains don't work, ain't worth a damn ain't worth a damn no more. Not he's supposed to be getting the House. Yeah, the House. He got the Senate to sign to okay it. And today he's supposed to be getting the House to okay it. So let me read this. It says U.S. President Donald Trump has signed his landmark policy bill into law a day after it was narrowly passed by Congress. The signing event at the White House on Friday afternoon enacts key parts of the Trump agenda, including tax cuts, spending boosts for defense, and the immigration crackdown. It says there was a celebratory atmosphere at the White House as Trump signed the bill ahead of Independence Day fireworks at a military picnic attended by the pilots who recently flew into Iran to strike 3 nuclear sites. It says Trump told supporters it will unleash economic growth, but he must now convince skeptical Americans, as polling suggests many disapprove of parts of the bill. Several members of his own Republican Party were opposed because of the impact on rising U.S. debt, and Democrats warned the bill would reward the wealthy and punish the poor. And that's exactly what it's going to do. The rich are going to get richer, and the poor are going to get poorer. Trump, single-handedly with this bill, is going to deplete and diminish the so-called middle class. You know, there's not going to be no middleman, no middle class anymore. There's going to be extremely rich, wealthy, and extremely poor, destitute. You know. And then it goes on to list the packaging. It says the 870-page package includes extending 2017 tax cuts of Trump's first term, steep cuts to Medicaid spending, the state-provided health care scheme for those on low incomes and the disabled. Yeah, so those people on Medicare, Medicaid, you're no longer going to have your assistance. You know, there's many people. I was watching a video somewhere where a woman, I forgot what state she's in, but she sounded like she's from the South, and she basically, I believe it was her mother or her brother, depends on Medicaid to go to the doctor and take care of his medical bills and medication. And if Trump passes this bill, he's no longer going to be on it. This is going to affect hundreds of millions of people, you know. It says new tax breaks on tipped income, overtime, and Social Security. A budget increase of $150 billion for defense. A reduction in Biden-era clean energy tax credits, $100 billion to immigration and customs enforcement. Yeah, the ICE agents. Not to mention that they didn't put it here, but supposedly they're supposedly supposed to be, I believe it's like 250 million or 250 billion toward detention centers, you know, for them to build places like Alligator Alcatraz. And I seen a video where Trump was talking about making a Shawshank facility and a Grizzly Rikers. So they're going to put these wild animals near these detention facilities. So if Jake tried to escape, because that's who it's for, if Jake tried to escape, these animals gonna tear your ass up. It says moments before the bill signing, there was a flyby of a pair B-2 bombers, the same kind of aircraft that participated in the Iran operation, flanked by highly advanced F-35 and F-22 fighter aircraft. And then it goes on to, yeah, then it goes on to say a whole bunch of other things. Fluff. Then Trump gave a speech and whatnot. Yeah. So this is drastic, man. As a matter of fact, let me see that I wanna yeah, here it is. I looked up what is damnatio ad bestias, and it says damnatio ad bestias is a Latin term meaning condemnation to the beasts. It refers to a form of Roman capital punishment where a condemned person was killed by wild animals, often in public spectacles and gladiatorial games. You see, so basically Trump is bringing back that Roman warlike spirit. Apostle Tahar did say that he believed that he is Nero. And if you've seen pictures of a young Donald Trump and the bust of Nero, they look identical, And just like how Nero didn't like the Israelites in ancient Rome, Trump doesn't like the Israelites, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans in present Rome. Rome 2.0. And this is how you know that we're the same people, because we're going to be getting oppressed and fucked with in the same area. Just like it tells you in Jeremiah 50 and 33. Matter of fact, let me get that. Like I said, I didn't want to make this too long. I just wanted to, hit some points, and then, This is the book of Jeremiah chapter 50 verse 33, and it reads, "Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go." And this is how you know that this is talking about now. Because in ancient captivities, the children of Israel were in a different captivity than the children of Judah. Children of Judah were in the Babylonian captivity, and the children of Israel, the northern kingdom, they were in the Assyrian captivity. You see, so this has to be talking about now. And this precept was for future tense, and we're in that time right now. But Trump is basically coming down with great wrath, man. Before I even get that, let me see if I can pull something up on the TV, on the video rather. Yeah, look at this. Fair use, fair use, fair use. And this is just alligator Alcatraz, Let me see if I could get that video. The video I was watching from the brother Yashalam. His YouTube handle is GMS Watchman. You know? Yeah, here it is.
Shalom. Giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash, for giving us the understanding of the Holy Bible through their men, beginning with the apostles and the bishops of Great Millstone. These are the men that are worthy of double honors in the time that we're living in, which we're living at the very end of the world, actively as a nation. And now, you know, we're approaching, all these various different religions and false types of worship that our people are caught up. Okay, and here in this clip, you're going to really see how draconian things are going to get as it pertains to, you know, these so-called illegal immigrants out here in the United States.
Yeah, listen up, because the reason why I put this video on, you know, you can check out the video in your own time. It's a very good video that he did, but he has some good evidence showing you that we're coming into some harsh, draconian, savage, perilous times, some troublesome times ahead, you know? So just listen up.
Alright, so without further ado, I want you to check out this clip and we'll take it from there, Lord willing.
It's pretty funny. Well, I think it's funny, at least. All the illegals, they still think we're stuck with them? No. You're about to be stuck in here with us. Clock is ticking. Could be a soft tick, could be a loud one, hard to say. A word of advice, though, I'd scram if I were you. Skedaddle. Vamoose, leave while you still can. Alligator Alcatraz is just the beginning. Next up is Shark Shawshank. Sharks, very dangerous, not the most reasonable of beasts. Some of you have seen the Discovery Channel and know what I'm talking about. Shark Week, very exciting. We'll live stream escape attempts, justice and economic stimulus in one. Rikers with grizzly bears is an option as well. We could use a snappier name, but the concept is strong to very strong in a big way, quite frankly.
So as you can see, you know, he's taughting the people about how, you know, now he's got alligator Alcatraz. Next, he wants to build another camp called Shawshank, and then after that he wants to deal with Rikers Island, you know, grizzly bears on Rikers Island and whatnot. Now, whether, you know, he's joking or not, you know, we don't know. But it does say in the Apocrypha, I believe that's the book of Sirach 5 and verse 15. You know, wisdom tells us not to be ignorant in any great matter or small.
Yeah, you see? And so, and this is, and let me show you. You see, this is the YouTube handle, GMS Watchman. You know, Trump is bringing back the Roman spirit of Damnatio ad Bestias. Look up what that means, and that's why I showed you what that means. You know. Let's go to it again. Damnatio ad Bestias is a Latin term meaning condemnation to the beast. It refers to a form of Roman capital punishment where a condemned person was killed by wild animals, often in public spectacles and gladiatorial games. You see? So Trump, in that little clip that was just played, Trump bringing alligator Alcatraz, you know, shark Shawshank, you know, and grizzly bears at Rikers. You know, that's a form of Damnatio ad Bestias. You see? And this lets you know that we're in Rome all over again. You know, that they basically want to kill for sport. You know, and Salakia, if you can't hear because of the noise of the firecrackers, the fireworks, you know. I'm trying to talk as loud as I can. Well, and not yell off somebody's ears. But, you know, Salakia. And hold on, let me see if I could get that. I'm trying to play this video. All right. Just bear with me, brothers and sisters. Bear with me, brothers. You know, if it doesn't play, no biggie.
So Donald Trump has achieved his first big legislative victory of his second presidential term. This is delivering on a lot of the big campaign promises that Trump made last year when he was running for re-election, including renewing the tax cuts that he passed in his first presidential term and adding some new ones to them. For instance, no tax on tip and no tax on overtime. In addition, it is a massive new investment in immigration enforcement, tens of billions of dollars on new detention centers and immigration enforcement officials and border wall construction, as well as massive investments in the United States military, the Golden Dome missile defense that Donald Trump talked about. Now, there are concerns that this big, beautiful bill, as Donald Trump calls it, drives up the federal deficit. It adds more than $3 trillion to the national debt. And there is concerns among economists that that is going to eventually cause fiscal problems for the United States. And then this bill also includes cuts to government spending on health insurance, particularly government programs for the low-income Americans. This is a lasting legacy for this new president. It builds on his legislative agenda, and it delivers a kind of legal lasting achievements that just executive orders and other things that Donald Trump has done so far this year won't deliver. So it is a big moment for Donald Trump, and he's going to be very happy when he signs this bill on the 4th of July.
You see? And that's today. And I believe they already signed it. I tried to get a video from earlier, but, you know, hey, to no avail. But it's there. I'm sure if I looked on YouTube, it would show it. But you basically get the gist of it. They're moving full steam ahead with this big, beautiful bill. And it's not going to be beautiful for you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You know, you Israelites. Because, you know, Trump already, especially you females, Trump already cut your food stamps, your Section 8, your WIC, you know, your child support. You know, if the father pays child support, he claims he could claim the child on the taxes. You know, so a lot of you females is about to turn back into housewives again. But you know, you better hope that your man wants you. You know. But anyway. Let me get a couple of scriptures. This is definitely got to get this. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 10 verse 1, and it says, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed." You know, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. It's true. They're not only going to rob the fatherless, they're going to rob the fathers, the grandmas, the grandpas, the mothers, everybody. Everybody's going to be affected by this big, beautiful bill being passed. You know? Because a lot of people are dependent upon the government as it is. And really, this is just another step towards the MOTB, you know? Like the global elites want total control. From what I understand, like you said in the video, they're going to spend millions and billions of dollars on these facilities, and that money is getting cut, is coming from the government spending that they cut, and all they're doing is giving it back to the top banking families, the global elites. You know, that's basically what's happening. We're just getting ran through the ringer. The book of Micah chapter 2 verse 1, you see the head and it says, woe to the oppressors. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. It says, then they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. And that's exactly what you're seeing being done. Yeah, that clip I showed you earlier before I played the video. You see, they already in 8 days they made alligator Alcatraz. You see, 3,000 bed facility, and you know who's going there? Jake, specifically the Northern Kingdom right now. But they already started snatching up the so-called the tribe of Levi. The so-called Haitians, they already started snatching them up, and you know that doesn't exclude you West Indian, you so-called West Indians, you know, tribe of Benjamin, and the tribe of Judah, because to be perfectly honest, you couldn't tell the difference between all three of us, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. You know, the Esau is not going to be able to distinguish between Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, so he's going to lump us all up in together, just like he's doing with this big, beautiful bill. This is an all-out attack on the tribes of Israel. You know, Northern and Southern Kingdom. You see? Let me get this in the Apocrypha. There's the book of Ecclesiasticus, also known as Sirach, chapter 12, verse 10, and it reads, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. You see? And this is the wickedness of Esau. You can't trust them. You know, the Northern Kingdom is definitely feeling the brunts of voting for Donald Trump. You had that whole thing. And the Southern Kingdom as well. You had Haitians for Donald Trump. You had Latinos for Donald Trump. All that bullshit. You know, now they're starting to see the true horns of the devil and they don't want no parts. But it's already too late, you know. The top is off the can. Now your ass about to get germs. It says, though he humble himself and go crouching, and that's exactly what Trump did on his campaign. He was like that he was going to do so much for the people, and he was like he was going to do so much for the people, and he didn't even do it. You know. Oh, Salakia. Hold on, give me a second. Yeah, like I was saying, he said he promised the people so much, and then when he gets in the office, look what he does. He does what the global elites want him to do. He oppresses the people. So you already know. So you already know that more oppression is coming. You know, this is just the beginning of sorrows, like it tells you in 2nd Ezra. You know. Well, let me see. What's the name of Damn, I forgot. Anyway. It says, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass. And thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. You see? So, basically, you give it time and you're going to see the true horns of the devil. I'm gonna get one more precept. Maybe two more. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 12. It says, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. Yeah, and this is what you're seeing. This is part of that great wrath. You know, started with the ice raids, and then it's going to, you know, the brothers better be prepared that you might get thrown into a concentration camp. You know, like it tells you in Revelation, the 2nd chapter. The devil might cast some of you into prison. You know, he might to test you, to test your faith. And if you be faithful unto death, the Lord will give you a crown of life. You know, so you have to be prepared, mentally and spiritually prepared in your mind that you might die, you know, because we are definitely behind enemy lines. And Esau is coming with that great wrath. There's no doubt about that. You know, you got these you got the 2/3, these niggas and these bitches out here. They celebrating having a good time. They don't know they ass about to get rounded up and hauled off to a concentration camp. Or get gunned down in the street, right there. So, I mean, I could get something else, but I'll leave it there because I didn't want to make this too long. So, now, matter of fact, I'll get something else. Let me see. This going to the Revelation, the 13th chapter, 11th verse. It says, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. You see? And this is talking about America. You know, the two horns like a lamb is talking about the 2-party system. You know, ancient Rome, you had the plebeians and the patricians. And today you have the Democrats and the Republicans. You see? And it had 2 horns like a lamb, but it spake as a dragon. The speaking as a dragon is talking about the draconian laws that it's going to implement. And that's exactly what's going on. You know? That's why you see Trump passing the big beautiful bill. That's why you see him how do you put it? Yeah, just passing the big beautiful bill, cutting the government spending. He's doing Trump is nothing but a puppet hand for the global elites, you know? That's why, let me see. This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 15 and 16. It says, see then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time because the days are evil. You see? And that, yeah, you ought to be circumspect, you know? You gotta watch yourself out here, because you see that people, well, Esau's not playing fair. And he never was, you know? This is the book of 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 8. It says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. And that's exactly what you're seeing. Esau is walking around like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. So what you ought to do is to pray. You ought to pray and to fast, you know, to make sure that you don't get caught up in the wiles of the devil, you know. Pray to Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh for strength, for courage, to endure these troublesome times, because it's definitely here, you know. But Lord's will, you was edified. Till next time, we're going to say shalom to the elect. You know, we almost out of here. Like it tells you in Romans, the 13th chapter, the 11th verse is now high time to wake out of sleep because our salvation is nearer than when we believed, you know. Shalom.